Hi, everybody. It is another Saturday night, and that means you have me, your host, DM Lake. It is time for yet another wonderful week of Curse of Strahd, and I just realized that my camera is not set up in the way that it's supposed to be set up. Give me one hot second to adjust that. Apologies on that one. So I just realized that my camera was not set up in the right way. Hold on, let's see if we can't do something about that.
You were looking pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, if I looked up and I realized that my camera was set on top of the laptop instead of being actually perched and clamped to it. That was going to fall. Yes. Anyways, so unfortunately this week we are going to be sans one Tamara. She had something come up and she was unable to join us, but we still have three lovely players who are ready to throw their all into the nightmare that is waiting for them. We have a new layout as well. God, this is going to bug me until I get this perfect. Sure. We have a new layout over on the right side of the screen, or your left side of the screen, depending on how you're looking at this. And we'll start with the very top. Zoe, why don't you introduce yourself, who your character is, and give us a brief look into the insight of their mentality right now.
Hi everyone, I'm Zoe Trooper. I play Binka Delphine Cherrybottom. She is a halfling warlock, Pact of the Tome, so extra spells, all that goodness. She is basically viewing everything as a puzzle put forth to her by her patron, or matron, whatever. This is being in this land has been kind of like a challenge, and she thinks it's a puzzle that she needs to solve in order to get out. So she's not exactly convinced she's here, that this place is real, or that she's 700 years back in time. But, I mean, as things go on, maybe there will be a dawning realization that this is really a horror house she's in and not some sort of weird dreamscape.
Perhaps revelations will come very soon into that regard. Curtis.
Hi, my name is Curtis, and I am playing William Catesby, and his state of mind is more one of trying to figure out what's going on exactly. He's more putting the puzzle pieces together, gathering the information in, and very interested in the tarot card, or tarotka card reading that we received last time. I've been looking at my notes about the trader card and very interested in the wizard and the wine. That's pretty intriguing to me as a player, that I kind of want to go there myself, so...
All in good time. And last but certainly not least, we have Izzy.
Hey guys, my name is Izzy, and you don't know me, but could know me if you were to join the TTRP Discord server. Link down below and in the chat. I am currently playing Dirk Hardsteel, who is not too happy about his situation right now. He's surrounded by con men, and one of which has found out his actual name. And not only found out his actual name, but knows the location of his secret scar underneath his right butt cheek. And made a fake body of him to scare him. And to lure him into what is probably a trap that's going to kill him in return for him finding his treasure for them. But he's here. He has two friends that he kind of trusts. And he's trying to sleep in for right now.
Yes. Well, there's all that and more coming up this week on Curse of Strahd. As a brief recap, the party, after finally leaving the town of Barovia with Irina Koliana in tow, they decided to stop by a place called the Sirpul Encampment, a place where the Vistani were known to camp for the night. Hopefully that it would provide safe shelter for their march forward through the mountains to the fortified town of Valaki. While they were there, apparently they had been expected, as an individual who went by the name of Madame Ava said that she had foreseen their coming and had requested that they meet in the tent to read their fortunes. Inside, she performed a Taroka card reading to discern and divine the future and what it may hold for them. Some of them bought into it, others steadfastly refused it, but all in all, it was information, and the group can do what with will they will it. But that's in the future. This is the now, as we are ready to continue our game into Barovia. Welcome back. So, as the group is starting now, they have all awoken from a long rest. Well, almost all of them have awoken from a long rest this fine Barovian day. I'd say fine, but in truth, it's much the same as any other. Thankfully, the rain seems to have finally parted, allowing the groups to see a somewhat clearer but still murky, overcast sky. Like there's something off to it. As each of you wakes up, with the exception of Dirk, who is sleeping in as he refused to get to sleep at a reasonable hour last night, I would like the two present party members to please make me a perception check. Okay. As both of you awaken this day, this is the first time you've had a chance to really see the sights that Barovia has to offer. The mist is much thinner, and there is a layer of actual light that seems to illuminate the day. The clouds have parted, the rain is gone, and it would be beautiful if there wasn't something about it that is just getting to you. Keep looking around in the sky, but something's off. You can't place it. And then, as you leer off towards the east, the thought dawns on you. There is no sun. Now, this is not something that is out of the ordinary. The past few days you've been traveling, the clouds have been covering it. There hasn't been any glow or hue or luminescence in the sky that would suggest that the sun is getting through. But this sky is clear almost. Despite the fact that it's gray, it's very little clouds. But there is still no sun. Almost as if the sun isn't there.
Interesting. Vinka, of course, would try to discern where the light source is, because obviously there's a difference between night and day, correct? Like, one's a little brighter?
There is. At night, it is almost pitch black. And during the day, it's never quite very bright, but it's always bright enough that you can see without being impeded.
Oh, very curious.
As you all awaken, you can see that several of the Vistani are starting to start their days as well. Their days seem to be started much as they ended, as they get themselves up, begin to make their way around musical instruments, and begin to help themselves to what appeared to be ample amounts of wine. They seem to lead a life of revelry that does not stop for any or anything.
In a way, Vinka would admire this. These people are interesting to her. It's not a lifestyle she would lead, but if it makes them happy.
Well, this is very similar to what I'm used to growing up in the very formal religious community, and I'm always down for some breakfast wine. So yeah, I just jump right in.
All right. As you all gather up and begin to partake in this, you see two things. Only two of your party members are currently present. One, Dirk, you do not notice where he is. And as you kind of glance around, you catch an oversized foot sticking out from behind a tree as if he just kind of dozed off over there. The other person, Shava, seems to be missing in her entirety. There is no sign of her, and just asking around for a brief moment, they say that she left early in the morning and seemed to be following along the trail and farther into the mountains.
Scouting ahead, perhaps?
It's a possibility. I believe that might be Dirk's boot sticking out from that tree over there.
I wonder if the tree defeated him in the night.
Now that is something I could definitely believe in.
Also, William, have you noticed that there's no sun?
I did notice that. I didn't really want to say it. I was feeling a bit imposing lately, but it does look very ominous.
Another piece of the puzzle, perhaps.
Definitely. There is something amiss in this land, for sure, and I have my eye on it.
So, with one party member missing and another snoozing away into the late hours of the morning, what would you two like to do?
Vinka would be eager to get a move on, so after a few hours probably just playing with her tome for a bit, she'd move over to Dirk and start kicking his unconscious boot.
Yes, I would start to grow impatient. I would be nosing around listening for information to hear any little tidbits of stuff that I could from the locals. But yeah, at some point after breakfast, I don't even know if I could go a couple hours, and I would be ready to go wake the beast.
Okay. Since you all are in a hurry to get going this morning, unfortunately, as you kind of kick Dirk up, Dirk, you have not been able to finish a long rest as your allies are not willing to let you sleep in this morning. But I will say, go ahead and make me a persuasion check, William, as you are speaking around, talking to the Vistani, just trying to see what you can learn from them, about them.
Yeah.
So on.
I am persuasive as hell.
All right. So you talk to them, and they're very polite to just make small talk with you, but they don't seem to have a whole lot of information that you think would be very useful. They ask you, how's the weather?
Right, yes.
So on and so forth.
A lot of sarcasm and very tight-lipped about information. I don't think we're going to get much out of the locals here.
Well, they've been very hospitable in the short time we've been here.
Very true.
I think even Irina had a good time, and she's, been through some really tough stuff.
Yeah, Irina is currently sitting on one of the logs around the fire, just kind of, she seems to be sharpening the blade she has brought with her with a whetstone, and is just patiently waiting for you all to decide that it's time to go.
I also want to sort of ask around as well if anybody happened to see when, during the early morning hours, they might have seen Shava slip out, or if anybody saw her slip out at all.
I will say that the latest anyone remembers seeing her was, you can figure out that one of the men basically helped himself to a lavatory break early in the morning on the river pond, and he saw her leaning off into the trees as if she was speaking to somebody, but that was around 3 a.m.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Haven't the two of you ever heard of Let Sleeping Me Slide? Did you really need to wake me up right now?
Can't say I've ever heard that, but I do know another saying is, please don't bang on trees while other people are trying to sleep. Now get up.
Kid, I'm going to eat you. You are...
He just kind of gives like a bring it gesture.
Oh, you aren't even worth the calories. Sitting up, Dirk will look around and just kind of go, okay, well, you all suck. Can someone get me coffee?
One of the passing Vistani drop a wineskin in your lap.
That's strictly not...
It is good, drink up! Nothing starts the day better than how you ended the last one.
How much is this going to cost me?
Nothing!
Oh, the first one's free, I see. Drinks it. Hates it.
You would be wise to accept hospitality. You won't find it very often in this land.
So, you guys get up early after a long night of partying. How long have you been here?
Very long. We travel out of the mist sometimes. I think we've been here for the past 6 months or so.
Okay, this all sucks. And I heard you say omen again, and if you say it again, I swear I am going to hurt you.
See, you were awake before I even started kicking you.
Yeah, I know.
What are you complaining about?
I'm complaining because I went to sleep.
Dirk, we must get a move on so that we can find these artifacts and destroy this Strahd creature.
Sure, and I'm gonna get pulled off a mountain by a wight. Sure. Okay, you know what? Let's keep going.
And I am going to go into the Cavern of a Dead Dragon to fight a paladin.
Right.
You know, for how smart the two of you are and how big of a nerd you are, you're both gullible.
I don't know, it sounds like an adventure.
I
Gullible.
may not be able to read at past most third grade levels, but I do know a scam when I see one, and that's what this is, and we're just going on a goose chase.
You didn't see the scam when that tree presented itself as somebody that you thought you could smack down with a hammer, did you?
Okay, first of all, it was not my fault. It was the tools that I was provided. And second of all, that was a horrible comeback. That was way too wordy and not enough snap. You know what? Fine. If all I'm going to get is wineskins, let's get going because this place sucks.
They have breakfast, I'm sure.
Oh, they can eat me. Let's keep going.
Uh,
The faster we get away from these con men, the better.
Before we leave, Binka would thank the people around for their hospitality and give thanks to, like, next time you see Madame Ava, tell her thank you.
As you kind of spread this around, one of the individuals whom you speak to, Stanimir, the old man from last night, will tell you, "Do not worry. I am sure she already knows."
Kind of, aha.
I'm going to burn this place to the ground.
I would not suggest that.
Your attitude lately, Dirk, seems to be deteriorating by the moment.
Oh, yeah, I wonder why. Someone woke me up early. I think your attitude would be a little crass, too, if I were to kick you in the chest every time you try to sleep.
That is what the wine is for.
The wine is a depressant, and I need a stimulant.
Oh my.
You got any Jaeger? I'll take a Jaeger bomb over here. Let's get going. I'm going to be out. I might as well be out on my feet. Let's just get your stuff and let's get going.
Fine.
Irina, you're not welcome here, apparently. They hate you. Let's go.
Binka requests that they give her some extra wine so she can better handle Dirk.
Make a persuasion check. They're very accommodating in the camp, but the second that you suggest taking their wine, they seem to consider that a little more in depth. Like, the man whom you're speaking to will kind of consider it for a moment, and then he'll hold up a wineskin that seems, as far as you can tell, 3/4 empty, and he'll hand that to you. Sure, I don't think I need this one.
Thank you. It's more than enough. I'm quite small.
All right. You all can set out soon after that. As you all start to follow along the trail, you find that there is a dirt path here. You follow the river to the base of a canyon, at this far end of which a great waterfall spills into a pool, billowing forth clouds of cold mist. A great stone bridge spans the canyon nearly 1,000 feet overhead. Thankfully, there is a trail that kind of meanders its way back off into the mountains you all can use to scale without too much difficulty. It takes you about an hour out of your way, and you all were a little late to get up and go in the first place, but all in all, it's not going to cost you too much time.
Gotten the benefits of at least a short rest with a half night's sleep?
Typically no, but because I'm an infinitely kind and generous GM, I'll say yes.
I do not believe you. I mean, yes, GM. Thank you so much, GM.
When you declare a rest, you declare which one you're taking. If you declare a long and you don't get it, you don't get a short.
Okay. I understand.
Okay. As you all meander your way through the mountains, after about 4 hours of travel, getting well past noon at this point, just from how long you all were taking, you all come to what is yet another massive stone precipice. Another set of gates that welcomed you, much as the gates did when you first came to Barovia. But immediately before that, you all come to a crossroads. Even here in the mountains, the forest and the fog are inescapable. Ahead, the dirt road splits in two, widening toward the east. There you see patches of cobblestone, suggesting that the eastern branch was once an important thoroughfare. Off to the west are the massive stone gates, very similar to the ones when you first came in, complete with two decapitated figures, their heads stone and lying in the dirt on each side of the road.
Do I recognize the faces or the figures at all?
Looking at them, nothing about them seems to ring a familiar bell.
Okay, so no lore stories or anything like that.
Nothing that you've come across in your time.
Gotcha.
Looking to both sides of the road, Irina will say, I believe that we need to head off towards the west. That will lead us to Valaki.
Okay, how much farther is this place?
I don't know. I have never made this trip myself, but we are on top of the mountains now, so we should be able to see it in the valley below when we crest past.
Good.
West is through the gates, right?
Yes.
According to the seer, I'm going to get carried off into the night this way. So let's go through and prove a fortune teller faker wrong.
Seriously, she said you were going to get... explain that to me again. When were you supposed to be hauled off?
When we were passing the mountain pass. So
Mountain
any
pass.
minute now, a bandit dressed up as a ghost is going to
Dirk.
come out.
The sarcasm.
Okay. Any minute now.
So as the rest of you start to make your way off without Dirk, because he's just sitting and waiting, you approach once more these stone gates, and as you did before, once you get within 10 feet of them, they begin to creak, groan, and open of their own accord, almost as if beckoning you farther into the domain. As you all slowly make your way through, you approach and emerge on the other side of the mountain.
I thought those heads were not a good sign. But you made it, Dirk.
My God, he's
Perhaps
learning.
this wasn't your mountain pass after all.
Oh, yes. It was the metaphorical mountain pass of my peak in life.
It very well could be.
Where is my... Give me 1 second, guys. I need to find my pages
Well,
here.
I think you peaked when you joined the clergy.
I'm not quite sure what that means,
Correct.
but Vinka seems to be very happy with the situation, and we have survived the mountain pass.
She's just kind of chuckling to herself and mouths under her breath. What, you haven't peaked yet?
Hey. Now I feel like I'm getting bullied. Why am I being bullied here?
There's no one being bullied. Dirk.
You guys are mean to me. It's always the smart ones that are mean to me.
Dirk, look at you. You're a massive half-orc, strong creature.
Who was woken up too early.
Well, you are grumpy in the mornings, but now it's midday. Eat something. We've crested the mountains. I believe the Dungeon Master knows where we are at this moment now, so he's about to tell us.
Sorry, I couldn't find the page, and I said, screw it. I know this stuff. I'll do it from memory. As you all crest, after about another hour, you pass through sections of trees. At this point, as the trail begins to crest out towards the edges of the mountains, the back and forth of the winding trail seems to impede your progress, almost like it's artificially slowing you down, like whoever was cutting their way through these woods was having a hard time finding flat terrain with which to travel. It is at that point that you all see a figure, low to the ground and four-legged, creeping slowly over a side of a ravine. It kind of meanders into position, and through the fog, you can make out what is clearly a wolf. But as it approaches within about 20 feet of you, it just kind of leers down, lowering its head closer to you, and watches you for a moment. I'd like all of you to make a perception check, please.
I perceive this wolf.
Yes, you see the wolf standing right in front of you.
It is a big doggo.
My rolls this week are terrible. Last week I was knocking them out of the park.
Wait, I'm ready for my ones. I'm gonna hit a 1 streak, and I'm gonna use my halfling luck, and it's gonna be great.
There you go.
As you all are watching this wolf, Dirk, you hear something rustling in the trees off towards your side, and out of the corner of your eye, you see that there are at least 3 of them in the path ahead of you, creeping up lower to the ground, almost like they are intent on hunting you.
Okay, circle up, little one behind me.
What? Huh? And she just kind of does what she's told.
What is it?
This is what we call an ambush of a pack of dogs, and they are hungry. So get your whatever the heck you use, your little toothpick ready, and we're gonna get ourselves into a little tilly here.
All right, I'll pull out my crossbow and back up.
The big one's probably the leader, so take that one out first.
As you all start to group together, you hear a remarkably loud howl. Not as something altogether over large, but clearly the proximity of these creatures, they have crept in far closer than you ever would have felt comfortable with. As you look around, Arena will say, there are more behind us as well.
Yes, these are much closer than I would ever be comfortable with.
Well, they're about to get a lot closer. I hate to tell you something there, Will.
They form a semicircle that surrounds your party, kind of cutting you all off, minus the ravine, with the one wolf watching from overhead. As it kind of patrols closer to the ledge, it takes a moment to look around the other wolves, almost as appraising them, before it rears its head back and howls into the night. And as it does so, I would like you all to please roll me initiative.
Oh, snap. Oh, for God's sakes.
Got that good there, cleric initiative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's not forget to roll for Arena as well, because Arena, oh God, Arena, I'm so sorry.
New characters next week, guys.
Oh boy.
It's Curse of
All right.
Strahd. Here we go.
Since at least one of you drew attention to the fact that you all are being surrounded, you all are not surprised. So Vinka, you may act on your initiative.
Right, this is a long shot kind of plan, but I would like to use prestidigitation to create a howl far away, louder than the one that howled earlier. So kind of like the boss wolf, the alpha, off in the distance, calling them somewhere else.
Okay. I would like for you to make a deception check, please.
Vinka, you're so smart.
All right. So the issue of this is that prestidigitation, if my memory of the spell pertains, it can't make anything overly loud, and it is limited to a range of 30 feet. Or sorry, 10 feet.
Oh, really? It's only 10 feet. Perhaps then the sound could be like a wolf in distress, like it's in a lot of pain.
Prestidigitation also can't create sounds.
It can, or it should be able to. Hold on, let me double check.
No, you're thinking of silent image, or minor illusion, rather. It can create a harmless sensory effect, but it doesn't create sounds other than faint musical notes.
Alrighty, I figured the faint musical, like any kind of sound or odor would qualify, but
that's pushing the limit of what the spell can do. It is just a cantrip after all.
I gotcha.
But I will say you haven't used your action, so you may still continue to decide to do something.
Let me look real quick.
Thaumaturgy, maybe? Says chat.
Thaumaturgy makes noises louder. The spell thing she was looking for was minor illusion. Well, you could use thaumaturgy, yes. Specifically, yeah, there you go.
I do have minor illusion, so if that works, let's use that instead.
Okay, you're going to use minor illusion instead. It is still limited to a range of 30 feet, but with your deception check, let's see here. This guy is going to make a saving throw. He is going to succeed that saving throw, unfortunately. As you do that, you see two of the wolves kind of leer off and look in a strange direction. But the moment they do, the leader kind of turns its head to him and just... and they immediately turn their attentions back towards the task at hand, almost like they're embarrassed to have gotten distracted.
Okay, that's fair. That was fun to try, though. Thank you for letting me actually attempt it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Unfortunately, that is going to be Vinka's turn unless she wants to turn and run away. And we come to Dirk.
Dirk is going to take his fighting spirit and activate it, giving himself some temp hit points and getting him geared up for the attacks. And he's going to charge the closest wolf here and strike at it with his warhammer.
I will mark the big. Hold on, actually, I'm going to mark the bigger wolf just so you guys are aware which one it is, because I realize all the tokens look the exact same.
Okay.
But it's also 10 feet up on a ledge, so.
I don't think he's in my vision, so I will go over here.
Oh, he's not in your vision because dynamic gliding. Oh, yes, he is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not going up that ledge right now.
All right.
But I will strike at the closest wolf that I can get to.
Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Yeet.
That will hit. You can roll again with advantage. You don't even need to. You kill the wolf. As you just rush forward and swing your warhammer down on the wolf's head with a sickening crack, you slam it into the ground, smashing its head and ruining any chance it had at dinner tonight.
The game started, boys. Get going.
Yes.
All right. The wolf on the ledge starts to... Actually, it does not pace. It just sits there watching intently. As the others, these two are going to charge at Dirk. These two are going to charge into William. And this one is going to charge around Arena at Vinka. The two on Dirk are going to bite with advantage. The first one, you manage to batter away with your shield, but as you're batting it away, the other one jumps up and latches onto your wrist of your Warhammer arm. You're going to take 7 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make me a strength saving throw.
One strength 7 throw, come right up. There you go.
That is a success. You shake it off with a curl of your bicep. You are far too strong for these wolves to have anything to worry about. On the other end of the spectrum, however, these other two wolves are going to jump at William. The first of which jumps up and latches onto your arm, William, as well, dealing you 9 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make me a strength save.
A strength save, you said?
Yes. That's a success. You too manage to shake this wolf off before it manages to drag you prone, though the other one will not give up there. It too is going to jump up. It latches onto your thigh for 7 points of piercing, and I need one more strength save.
Oh, 7 more. And another strength save?
And another strength save.
Oh my god.
That is still a success. You kind of kick that one off from the underneath, and they both back away for that brief moment, unable to pull you down. The last one is going to jump at Vinka. And Vinka, this one goes low as you're going to guard high and bites onto your ankle, trying to pull you prone. You're going to take 9 points of piercing damage, and I need a strength save. All right, you too managed to succeed. These wolves are incapable of pulling you to the ground as you just kind of kick it off and manage to refute it. Next up is Arena, as she will draw that rapier she was polishing just the night before, and she will try to stab the wolf immediately next to her. She will succeed as she runs the wolf through the rib cage, and it kind of falters for just a brief moment, clearly very wounded. William.
William Has anybody else taken damage? I don't think so. Have they?
Looking around,
I can only
a
see-
few wounds and marks, but nobody looks as bad as you do.
Right. Shit. Okay, maybe I'll save that. All right. I'm going to use my bonus action and cast Shield of Faith on myself, which gives me a +2 to my armor class. I can do that as a bonus action, and then I'm just going to go ahead and swing at this bastard that's right here in front of me with my mace.
All right, that hits.
For Christ's
With
sake.
not quite such a mighty crack, you smack down the top of the wolf like you're batting its nose with a newspaper, trying to prevent bad behavior, and it just kind of move its head away, and then it kind of was up, baring its fangs with a terrible snarl.
Good thing I gave
Does not
myself
seem
the
very
shield.
happy.
That's
You
why
seem
I
to
gave
have
myself
upset
the
this poor
shield.
wolf.
Don't get me. Okay, let's. Now I'm gonna stay there because Vinka's there. I'm gonna try to help fight these goddamn things off.
Okay, Vinka.
Finka knows she's not great at, big snapping wolves in her face, so she's actually going to take the disengage action this round, and cast Expeditious Retreat.
Okay. So that is 50 feet of movement without opportunity attacks.
Nice. Good job, Vinka.
That'll be good for now. Hopefully that
That's
puts me
only
in a better position.
25.
Yeah, I don't want to not be able to see, Maybe I can move. How much is the embankment? I guess it's difficult
The
terrain.
embankment is 10 feet up.
Okay.
If you would like to climb up it, go ahead and make me an athletics check. All right. You managed to scamper up it without any real difficulty. Either square, it's your choice. And you'll have 5 feet of movement left. All right.
That'll
So
do it.
Vinka takes off looking for the high ground. Dirk.
Will, are you even worth your steel? And he will strike at the wolf in front of him.
That is another hit, and that is another crushed wolf head as you just swing it down and smack this wolf into poor oblivion.
Okay, I'm just gonna start moving closer to Will here and hopefully provide another target for these wolves because he can't handle anything apparently.
Bravo,
Okay.
Turk.
The wolf on the ledge just kind of leers past all of you and looks off in the distance at Vinka, almost like he's appraising the action that she has taken, but still shows no sign of getting involved itself. The other wolves, the one that Vinka fled from, is going to charge headlong directly into Dirk. We're going to have 2 attack rolls against you, Dirk. The first is going to crit you for 10 points of piercing damage and a strength save, obviously.
Dirk, look out.
As you step over, the one that charges at you, the other one slides in and bites you right on the asshole. As it tears into you, starts to pull you prone. You kind of shake it off, and you realize you're probably going to have another scar there now.
Ooh,
The first one jumps at you, and you kind of swing your shield around and smack it in the face, knocking it away before it can do any more damage. The other 2 on William are going to jump one more on him. The first, unfortunately, is going to get a 21 to hit. As he jumps around the floating shield and underneath your main shield as he bites you right on the forearm for 7 points of piercing damage and a strength save.
Okay. 7 and a strength save. God.
Unfortunately, as that one grabs you, you pull back, but it pulls forward and it just drags you face first to the ground. You are now prone. The other one is going to take advantage of that and basically jump on your back. But even as he jumps on your back, unfortunately, he goes for the wrong spot. And he's just biting into your chainmail, pulling it from your body, but not actually trying to bite you in any successful way. Next, we come to Arena, who is going to try and stab this wolf immediately next to it, because that seems like a good idea. Unfortunately, she is going to miss as she swings wide, and the wolf ducks away from her rapier. That is a rough attack from her. William.
I am going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
Let's see here. 1.
12 points of healing.
Is that the right roll? Nice. Okay. I haven't cast it that way before using the thing, so I wanted to make sure that was right. 12. Awesome.
Remind me, what is your domain again?
Knowledge.
Never mind. Sorry, you're right. I thought you were alive for some reason. You're right. That's correct.
Yeah,
12 points of healing to you, good sir.
Yeah, it should be 1d8 plus 4.
Yep,
yeah, so 12. Cool.
Yep, you're 12. You may heal. I'm assuming you would also like to stand up.
Yes.
You can do that without any issue. It just takes a matter of a moment.
Um,
and you did take damage, so actually I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Yeah.
You maintain the concentration on your shield.
Nice. Do I have any movement left?
You have 15 feet of... Actually, you have 15 feet of movement left. But to move away from the wolves would provoke an attack of opportunity.
Okay. And so the heal spell, that was my action. All right, that's all I've got then.
Alrighty. We come back to Vinka.
Okay, Vinka's going to get into a more advantageous position, so she doesn't Eldritch Blast people in the back. Flip her book
She's 30
open.
feet away on top of a hill. I'm going to relocate a little more, guys.
I guess she is above, so I don't have to worry about that so much. So
There is still some people in the way, but...
Yeah. I don't like hitting party members. Anyways, yeah, she's going to flip to an age-old spell in her book and cast Eldritch Blast at...
Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Alright, no one's in real danger, if you should tell. Unfortunately, as you kind of move and readjust, you fling your Eldritch Blast off into the air. I believe I asked you to describe your Eldritch Blast before, didn't I?
Yeah, it's kind of an icy blue, deep blue color.
Yeah. This deep blue icy energy kind of flakes off, pieces of particulate kind of flying off of it as it sails through the air and unfortunately just barely misses the wolf. Unfortunately, 12 is not going to do it. But that being said, that is the end of Vinka's turn, unless she wants to take off running. Dirk.
Dirk is going to turn to the alpha wolf and flex at it, casting Second Wind.
Okay.
Healing for 11.
Okay.
And then he's going to turn to the wolf that is closest to the unfortunate cleric and aim right between the eyebrows.
That is another dead wolf. As 3 for 3, Dirk just continues to whack-a-mole the wolves in this encounter.
You guys act like you've never been in a real fight before.
Okay. If the wolf is impressed, you are not sure as it just continues to sit there. At this point, it has actually sat down on its hindquarters. It's just kind of looking back and forth at everything you all are doing. As the wolves come back around, this one is going to move to here to stand over its dead ally, and that will continue to give them aid as they continue to swing through you. The first two, because at this point you seem to have given yourself as a proper target, Dirk. These two are going to both go for you. The first one is not only going to get a 12 as you beat it away with a shield. The other is going to get a 16, still not good enough to hit as you continue to bash both of them back and forth. They're finding it hard to actually get a good bite on Dirk. The other one tries its damnedest to bite William. The best it's going to get is an 8 as all of you managed to defeat the wolves this turn. They seem to be losing their ground. Arena is going to slip over to this wolf here and try and stab it. as she does not like that Dirk is getting surrounded. She will stab it for 8, and she runs it through the neck, a deadly blow, but not enough to kill it. It is bloody, though. William.
I am going to, let's see, I'm standing up and engaged in the battle. All right, so I'm going to attack this wolf that's between me and Dirk with my mace, because it's just right there. I just have to.
Okay. Unfortunately, you swing around and you swing down at it. It jumps off to the side, and all you catch is dirt. You guys are having a hard time connecting with these wolves, except for Dirk.
Embarrass
Thank you
myself
for
in front of
emphasizing
Dirk.
the T at the end of that.
Vinka.
From the hill there, Vinka yells down, "You're doing a really good job, Dirk!" Before she fires off another Eldritch Blast at that wolf right there.
Okay. That will hit.
Nice.
Your bluish energy sails off through the air and smacks into the wolf, exploding very briefly into what appears to be small little puzzle pieces that shape and meld and then just fade away into nothing.
I love that so much.
But that is Vinka. We come back to Dirk.
There you go, Vinka. You got it. William, take more notes from her. I know you nerds like to share them. And then he will aim for the wolf closest to William as well. And another home run.
Jesus Christ. All right, yeah. And you said this one. All right, so you just spin around and utterly collapse this wolf, smashing down its spine and nearly breaking it in half if it wasn't for the fact that you were using a bludgeoning weapon, and it just folds in on itself in a horrifying show.
Don't mess with the carny.
Okay. Whatever the alpha wolf seems to have interest in this fight, it seems to have lost it, as at this point it stands itself up, it turns around, and just begins to lazily lope its way through the woods away from you all. The wolves, however, show no such fear, as they are going to continue fighting. This one is going to circle around William, and they are going to continue trying to picking on Dirk. This time they've fared a little bit better, as in their bloodied states, they seem to be more ferocious, jumping up and latching onto the side of your arm, Dirk. You are going to take 8 points of piercing damage. At this point, they've pretty much forgone dragging you prone. They're just trying to bite the crap out of you. The other one is going to crit you. As you're shaking one wolf off of your bicep, the other one latches onto the back of your neck, dealing you 15 points of piercing damage.
Still here, boys.
Arena is seeing the wolf that is on your arm, is going to try and stab that one. She is unfortunately going to miss, as you're shaking it back and forth and moving the wolf around more than the wolf is willing to move around at this point. William.
I'm going to swing at this one right in front of me with my mace. God damn it.
You go to smack it, and Dirk just kind of spins, and the entire wolf just hits you in the face.
Hang in there, Dirk. I'll hit it sometime or another.
Vinka.
I mean, it's just right there.
Vinka, take the shots.
Yeah, one more go with Eldritch Blast at that wolf.
Take the shots. God damn it, Vinka.
So unfortunately, with Dirk spinning around, it's difficult not to hit him, and your shots are just going wide. Dirk.
I'm just helicoptering these wolves at this point.
Thank goodness Dirk is here. We'd all be dead.
Yeah.
Well, this is time for another mighty round of my fighting spirit to come in. To give myself that little extra edge and the hit of adrenaline.
Don't drink your own potions.
I'm going to realize that I have a wolf on my mace hand and a wolf on my neck, and you know what? I might as well hit a motherfucker with a motherfucker. So I'm going to swing the wolf and the mace at the wolf at my neck, and see what happens.
Okay. Make an attack roll. Despite everything, you do manage to slam your mace into the top of the wolf that is biting into your neck, and it just kind of collapses and falls off of you with no further harm. The wolf on your arm seems to think better of it and lets go before you manage to smack it with another wolf. But that is one dead wolf. There is only one wolf remaining. There's no need to worry about this wolf anymore. It is gone. The last wolf kind of leers between each of you, considering its options, and then just decides, well, it's gotten this far. It might as well just try and finish off Dirk. It is going to get a 21 to hit, even without the aid it needs anymore, as it lets go of your arm and jumps up and just bites right into your midsection for 9 points of piercing damage.
Ooh, thank God I did this. Fighting surge. Okay.
Harina tries to stab at it, but unfortunately is unable to stab it. She seems to be getting a little frustrated with the fact that her practice skills are not coming to quite the fruition she had hoped for. William.
One more time. I'm coming in. Yes.
You'll actually have to move closer to attack this one.
Oh.
Climb over those wolf corpses.
Yeah.
Now is your time, William. You can take Dirk out.
Right, and that will hit.
Nice.
All right. So as it's biting into Dirk's midsection, he just kind of raises his arms up, about to smack it. But William, you slide in and with a baseball swing, rear around and crush this thing's head
Boom.
into Dirk's midsection. It lets go with a minuscule whimper, and as the wolf falls dead to the grounds fall silent once more. The wolves are vanquished, and you all are only slightly worse for wear.
That
Wow.
last one still counts as a kill for me.
Of course.
My adds to the final hit.
Hopping down from the embankment, Vinka looks a little perturbed. She's like, I don't usually see like animals fight to the death like that. It's very strange. Like an arena.
Have you seen many animals fight to the death?
Well, no. I lived in a cherry orchard, so not a whole lot there.
I've
The
been
wolves here are ferocious. They will attack anything they are told to.
told.
Told to?
The wolves here are minions of Strahd. They obey his commands.
Well, good to know. Was that big wolf Strahd then?
She kind of shrugged her shoulders. I'm afraid I do not know.
Okay. Well, that big wolf went that way. Maybe we can track it. Right after our good friend William here is going to heal all of my wounds. Isn't that right, William? After saving your life
Of course, Dirk. And
doing 90% of the work.
I will begin to mumble a prayer and cast Prayer of Healing. For 13 points of healing.
So you all decide you're going to take 10 minutes to cast Prayer of Healing. Basically just moving the wolves out of your way, taking them to just sit down, appreciate that each of you are still alive and not in absolutely worse shape. And all of you can get 13 points of healing.
Nice.
Remember how to do basic math.
You can just do plus 13 on your the hip bar. It'll do it for you.
I like to imagine that Vinka shows off the wolf bite on her ankle. Like it's look at this.
You know, wolf meat's very stringy, but it's not that bad. Maybe we can just we have a smorgasbord here. We could just cook these up and keep going, and maybe take rest and go to sleep and have a full night's sleep. That sounds great. Also, I'm going to point out that I was attacked by wolves and not a ghost, so that seer was wrong.
You also weren't carried away.
Aren't
Exactly.
you healed up now?
Looks down at my scar-ridden body. No.
I think we're ready to continue.
They keep telling us it's a bad idea to be outside at night. So we need to get to the next village.
Very true. Thank you, Vinka.
Well, we have a big wolf that apparently doesn't like us. Maybe we should deal with him?
If the big wolf needs to be dealt with, then I'm pretty sure it will make itself available for that at some point.
Well, whatever. How ferocious are all the fauna here there, Irina? Is it just the wolves that are under Strahd, or am I going to have to face a vicious pack of chipmunks later?
I'm afraid I do not have more information than wolves can be quite ferocious, and there are wolves as large as grizzly bears here.
You handled those wolves heroically, Dirk. You shouldn't be concerned. You took out almost all of them.
Yep. And Vinka took out one too. You had none there, William.
I swung a few times.
We really need to get you
Two
some
of them
practice.
were attacking. Two of them had a hold of my arms. It was a very difficult situation.
I had one on my neck and one on my arm. And I still killed one with the other.
You're absolutely
No
right.
excuses. Anyway.
I'm afraid I do not know more. There are the wolves, the dire wolves, and there are zombies as well that are the minions of Strahd, but I'm afraid I do not know much more than that.
Well, you are all very fortunate in that I was raised by polar bears and taught how to fight ferociously. So I will protect all of you for a small fee.
Polar bears?
Yes, bears, but in ice.
I have never heard of such a thing.
You have never been so far north as I.
No, I've never left Barovia.
Well, you'll see wondrous things, kid.
If you don't get paid to protect us, where are you going to go?
You cannot leave the
Questions for the
bog.
future.
Well, I'm not paying you, but I will just tag along with you.
Well, you already paid me one meal, so you got me until the next one. Let's keep going.
All right.
Okay. As you all finish trekking through this section of the woods and mountains, the slope changes from ascent into descent, and finally you get a breathtaking view of the valley ahead of you. I will now move you all down to the map of Barovia as you have a good idea of where you've been. You all are currently here, cresting through the mountains, and as you look out into the far skies and seas, you see many beautiful things. Down nested at the end of the trail is what appears to be a dilapidated old windmill set off the beaten path. Farther beyond that, nestled in the bottom of the forest below in the valley itself, is a village creeping with fog and seemingly fully surrounded by palisade, the fortified town of Valaki, if you were to so guess. Off towards the north and south are even two taller mountains. Arena will point out the one to the north is Mount Baratok, and the one to the south is Mount Gakis. I remember that much. And the lake there, which he will point to, that is Lake Zarovich.
This is all too confusing. Just point me in the right direction.
So we'll kind of take a moment to look down. It seems if we just continue following the old Solid Road, we'll make our way there with no problem.
Perfect.
Yes. We're almost there.
I was my caravan's bodyguard, not our navigator.
The road should lead us there simply enough. Though I am curious what this windmill is. I have never heard of it before.
I too am curious about that.
A windmill? Really? Why would you be interested in a windmill? It's going to be big. It's going to catch some wind. It'll rotate and probably squeak a little.
There might also be grains.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh yes, we will have a great feast of porridge.
Perhaps there's something there that might serve as an improvement to your tinctures.
Tinctures are already perfect. I don't know what you're saying.
I'm saying that you're not selling any of them, and you're not going anywhere where there might be somebody to sell them, so perhaps you should improve them.
Hey, Wolf, you want a tincture? I can sell you a tincture. There's no one around, William. Use your head.
Maybe there'll be someone at the windmill.
Exactly.
You guys suck. Let's keep going.
As you all travel south, the Old Swallows Road transitions here from being a winding path through the Balinock Mountains to a lazy trail that hugs the mountainside as it descends into a fog-filled valley. In the heart of the valley, you see a walled town near the shores of a great mountain lake, its waters dark and still. A branch in the road leads west to a promontory, atop which is perched a dilapidated stone windmill, its warped wooden vanes stripped bare as you come closer. The choice is yours if you would like to head west towards the windmill or just make good progress north into town. At this point, you all have been traveling about 6 hours. It's getting closer to 2, but in theory, you should still be able to make it there with good time.
I would like to give that a little look.
Definitely.
Okay. So William and Vinka start to make their way towards the windmill. Arena kind of takes 2 steps forward, watching after them, and then she just kind of looks back to you, Dirk. Are you going to come with them?
Unfortunately, I feel like I should. And times like this make me wish I didn't have a conscience. Okay. Little one, get behind me. This is a strange place. I take lead.
All right. As you all take just a little bit out of your way to head down towards the windmill, it takes you less than 30 minutes to make your way there proper. As you approach, you can see the onion-domed edifice leans forward and to one side, as though trying to turn away from the stormy gray sky. You see brick walls and dirt-covered windows on the upper floors. A decrepit wooden platform encircles the windmill above a flimsy doorway leading to the building's interior. Perched on the wooden beam above the door is a raven. It hops about and squawks at you, seemingly agitated.
Stupid fucking bird.
I think you've upset that bird, Dirk.
Oh, I'll upset it anymore. Do you see a rock around here I can throw at it?
Dirk.
Probably just has a nest up there.
Exactly.
Ooh,
You shouldn't threaten nature. It's an affront to our halfling companion.
Do you understand what he's talking about there, little one?
Not especially, but
yeah,
don't throw rocks at birds.
She's not a nature halfling. She's a bookworm. She probably was raised in a mansion.
But she has an affinity for the nature.
That's
It's
racist.
bad luck to throw hot things at ravens, to harm them at all. They are known to
that.
carry the spirits of the dead.
Spirits of the dead, my ass. Okay, go ahead.
See, this is where the ghost is going to take you away.
You know there, Vinka, I've robbed many graves in my life. I'll openly admit to that. Never once have I seen a ghost. Never once have I been carried off into the night. It's not going to happen now.
Well, let's go have a look anyways. Hopefully the raven will let us in.
As you approach closer, the raven squawks at you a few more times before finally just turning, setting off from the precipice it is standing on and sailing off closer towards the forest, towards the northwest.
Is that an omen, William?
It is.
Good to know.
Right. As you approach, you see the door here is ahead of you, but it is on to you all to decide what to do with it.
Does it look like a particularly sturdy door?
It seems to be still in shape. It is not rotten or dilapidated. It would probably take a bit of force to break it down.
Well, there's no need to be rude. Dirk will knock on the door.
Okay. You knock on the door. You listen for a few moments. Make a perception check. Alright. So as you kind of knock and you kind of listen, you hear something echoing from higher up in the windmill, not something lower in, but it sounds like two people laughing, cackling almost.
Yep, no one's home, guys.
I sort of lean down a little bit and whisper at Vinka so that only she can hear. I believe Dirk's actions are probably the most ominous thing that's happening today.
Mm-hmm. Clearly we should let him sleep in more.
Dirk, perhaps we should just go in.
Sure. Right after you, William.
You said there was nobody home.
Yeah, no one home. Absolutely no one. You go first.
Does the area look lived in? Does it look like the path to the door is worn, like there's foot traffic in this area?
There is a trail that leads up to the front door, yes.
Vinka, perhaps somebody lives here.
No one lives here. It's just a building. It's a windmill. Who would... Okay, you know what? Here. Stand aside.
Windmills are devices usually developed to grind grain or for some other particular function.
I will strike you down where you stand, William.
So I would imagine...
If you want to get in so badly, I'll break the door down. Is that what you want, William?
No, not now. I think now that I see some of the signs, look, this path is well worn. People come and go around here. Perhaps this is somebody's place of business or residence.
Well, they're not here.
Let's just try the handle. We don't have to break the door down. That's crazy.
Would you try the handle, please, Dirk?
Why am I... Oh.
Vinka asked to try the handle. Would you do that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Is the door locked?
The door does not appear to be locked.
Well, it's locked, guys. I'm so sorry to hear this.
Can Vinka visibly see him rotating the handle like it's not locked?
It's not a rotate handle. It's one of those old style handle with a pull clasp.
Right.
So he just kind of does this and shakes the door. If you'd like to make an insight check to see if he's lying, you can.
It's a push door. He's pulling it.
Go ahead and make a deception check just for my sake, Turk.
Uh-huh.
She gets to reroll that one.
No, I am a halfling. I am rerolling this.
Hey! So yeah, you take a moment and you look and you see that his thumb is set firmly on top of the clasp, but has not pushed down on it at all.
Not doing it right. Have you never used a door before, Dirk?
I've used plenty of doors, Vinka. You know what? Here, I'll pick you up so you can reach the handle.
That won't be necessary. And she kind of just goes past him and opens the door herself.
All right, with a simple click of the door, you can slide the door open and allow you entry. Unfortunately, it is somewhat dark in here, as the windows that have been dirt covered and the lack of them on the bottom floor mean that the only sunlight comes in from the doorway itself. But just looking at it, you see the ground floor has been converted into a makeshift kitchen, but the room is filthy. Baskets and old dishware are piled everywhere. Adding to the clutter is a peddler's cart. A familiar peddler's cart, a chicken coop, a heavy wooden trunk, and a pretty wooden cabinet with flowers painted on its doors. In addition to the clucking of chickens, you hear toads croaking. The sweet smell of pastries blends horridly with the stench that burns your nostrils. The awful odor comes out of an open, upright barrel in the center of the room. Warmth issues from a brick oven against one wall, and a crumbling staircase ascends the wall across from it. Shrieks and cackles from somewhere higher up cause the old mill to shudder.
I was just going to say, I'm going to push back, or push past Dirk and follow Vinka in.
Vinka would actually lean her head out and says, "Oh, Irina, this is where the lady that sells the pies live."
Is it?
Yeah, she sold me a pie that made me throw up. But
Yes. Maybe we should seek retribution for that pie while we're here.
no, it was probably just my tummy being fluttery.
If you say so.
You realize that pie just made you go to sleep, right? I gave you medicine that made you throw up.
Oh,
And you were wide awake, and it worked as advertised, and it was free of charge. You're welcome.
thank you.
I'm just going to tell you all the uncomfortable truths, because you wouldn't let me sleep in for 2 goddamn hours, okay? I'm so tired. And I'm in pain.
In that case, perhaps we should leave this private residence, as it were, and take our poor alien Dirk to bed.
You don't want pies for the road?
Oh, my knee, my elbow.
After your last reaction, and honestly, I'm getting a bad feeling from the laughter that I can hear cackling from above.
Oh,
Vinka
sure.
looks confused. The woman just seems like she's having a great time.
Oh, Vinka.
My elbow, my neck.
Well, I suppose if we don't want to disturb her, we can head out.
My right nipple. It's partially torn.
Dirk, you'll live.
Just let me sleep for a little bit.
Before you all start to make your way out, go ahead and make you one perception check, because you're just going to take one cursory glance around the room.
Perception.
Each of
Don't
us
care.
or just...
Each of you.
Hashtag don't care. Let's leave this stupid windmill.
Dirk's already out the door and gone. He's 20 feet away and walking down the trail. All right. As Dirk leaves, William and Vinka, you all kind of take another look around the room. It's strange that there's so many living creatures here, and the place is kind of artfully decorated. The strange smell from the barrel's a little off. But William, as you kind of turn, your foot scrapes along something on the floor, and you hear something of a rattle in between bouts of cackle and laughter. And as you look down, you see there are what look like bones laying on the floor. At first, you think, oh, they're just chicken bones. You know, chickens get killed and the bones left behind. But as you reach down and pick one up and kind of examine it, it looks like a finger bone, a very tiny finger bone.
This is why you never eat the meat pies.
I have found a bone. Perhaps a child's finger bone.
Oh, survival of the fittest.
No?
Did you hear Dirk say something? He was outside. I thought I heard him mumble something. This, Vinka, this is not a good omen.
No, I don't suppose. Maybe it's a halfling finger. How tragic.
It's a possibility. I think perhaps we should leave before something catastrophic happens.
Good idea. We kind of leave.
You all beat very quick feet away from the window, closing the door behind you without looking around, investigating, or doing anything of the interest. But as you all circle back off onto the path and continue to make your way back onto the proper trail of the Old Salt Road, I believe we'll go ahead and take our break at this point.
Okay. Break time.
We'll see y'all in 10 to 15.
Be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. So, as the group makes its way away from the windmill, back and towards the mountain trail and traveling along the path set there before them, things seem quiet. Nothing pursues them, nothing chases them. It is a simple time. As they pass another hour down the trail, however, something does immediately catch their eye. As you look up, you can see that your presence in Mystery Land has not gone unnoticed. The raven that was perched atop the windmill is following you now. Though it is following you from about 50 feet up. Fairly respectful distance. Just kind of soaring back and forth.
Can Vinka start to like throw little scraps for it behind us as we're walking?
Sure, if you'd like. I'm gonna toss breadcrumbs out for it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feed nature, that's how they start coming back for you.
Already following us.
Not for long, not if I have anything to say about it.
The bird is following us, Vinka?
Yeah, it's right there, and she points. Up in the sky.
Hold on a second, Dirk. I don't know if killing it would be a good thing to do right this moment.
It's always bad luck to kill a raven.
And there's that.
The boys are very paranoid, Irina.
It is legend. It is true. To kill a raven is to beset the curse upon yourself.
So scared. Oh no.
I have felt that our presence has been monitored for quite some time since I've arrived in this place, so perhaps we should just be aware that it's there and move on. Whatever it is observing or reporting to will, no doubt, make its presence known to us at some point.
If it is reporting to someone, I bet it's that seer that's been watching us and getting all the information on us.
That would explain certain things.
See? Fake seer.
That's not quite the correlation I would make, but...
Magic bastard.
Okay. So, as you kind of continue on, paying no mind to this raven that is following on you, you trek on for about another hour. And occasionally you kind of leer back and you realize there's another raven floating higher now, about 100 feet up. And then after the next hour, there's another raven joining it. And as you approach the end of the next half hour, you kind of leer back and you realize more and more ravens are continuing to take an interest. And at this point, their numbers have swelled into the low hundreds.
Vinka, what did I tell you?
Don't feed the birds.
I stopped feeding them, I'm sorry.
Irina's just kind of looking at them dumbstruck, like she doesn't quite know what's going on.
They just kind of like a little slow-moving cloud of dark birds above us?
Something like that, yes.
I know they call a flock of crows a murder. Is a raven flock also a murder?
No, it's... Somebody just looked this up the other day.
It's a conspiracy.
A conspiracy, yes. Well, Vinka,
Kindness.
you know what I think it is.
It's an omen.
Vinka, oh my, William?
I didn't say
Stop.
Let's keep walking and not wait for the birds to get us.
Gotta poke the bear. Gotta poke the bear, William. Okay. Well, if any of them come near me, I'm going to hit it. I don't care what any of you say.
it. Of course.
Vinka, stop feeding the birds.
I did already, I promise.
She stopped feeding the birds, Dirk. Let's get to town before these beasts descend upon us.
Fine.
Okay. As you all continue, the birds follow you diligently, and as the day has now turned almost fully into dusk, into night, as it's hard to tell the difference between day and night here, as there is no orange setting sun. It is just the light fades like a dimmer switch until it is bleak and dark and black. You all approach, give me 1 second to flip through my book here. We are. The Old Svalich Road meanders into a valley watched over by dark, brooding mountains to the north and south. The woods recede, revealing a sullen mountainside burg surrounded by a wooden palisade. Thick fog presses up against this wall as though looking for a way inside, hoping to catch the town aslumber. The dirt road ends at a set of sturdy iron gates with a pair of shadowy figures standing behind them. Planted in the ground and flanking the road outside the gates are half a dozen pikes with wolves' heads impaled on top of them. And as you all approach, one of these shadowy figures yells out at you, "Halt! Who goes out there?
I like to
Be
imagine.
monster, turn away!"
So Vinka would stop and actually do a little flourish with a bow and say, "I am Vinka Delphine Cherrybottom," and introduce herself to these shadowy figures at the gate.
You see it appears to be two guards wearing hauberks of no real denomination. There's not a flag or anything on them. Very simple. And each of them is wielding a long pike in one hand. And as you get closer, they kind of turn the pikes towards you, kind of poke through the bars as they're trying to keep you at bay. "Stay back! No trickery! No one gets into Valaki at night!"
Well, it's not quite night yet, is it?
"It is night enough for me."
Well, we kind of need a place to stay because we were told it's dangerous at night.
"No one gets in."
I would firmly like to disagree with you of the time of day it is. It's more of a dusk than it is a night.
"Dusk?"
Yes.
He kind of looks off towards the sky, like he doesn't understand the meaning of the word.
I would argue that we have shown up about 15 minutes before night has started.
Guard kind of looks over at the other guard, and this guard just kind of shakes her head and says, "No, it's night. No one gets in."
You're right, I am a knight. And I say I should be able to get in.
"Night? Not that night. You could be monsters in disguise."
Oh, I would like to tell you that I am not a monster. In fact, I'm a salesman. The exact opposite of a monster.
She looks at the other guard and says, "Is that worse?" He seems to consider that for a moment. "How can you prove you're not monsters?"
Well, I have all my letters of identification with me here that say that my name is Dirk Hardsteel, and I am nothing more than a half-orc trying to peddle some wares.
Make me a persuasion check, Dirk. They kind of look to each other for a long second. "You have papers?"
Yes, you see, anywhere that I go, I need to have a permit of some sort in order to sell what I'm doing, and I need to get to your town square to get a permit. And Dirk's going to produce a bunch of his forged identity papers.
Okay. The woman continues to hold her pike ready to stab you if you try something, but the man will kind of pull his back and hold his hand out on his side of the bars for you to pass him through.
You see, everything's going to be in order here. You see, it's I'm from a bit of a distant land from here, as far as I can tell. Have you ever heard of I don't know, let's say Waterdeep?
Just kind of starts to look through your papers. "Where? No."
A couple miles up the road, I might have taken a wrong turn somewhere, maybe at Albuquerque, and I ended up here. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know where I am either.
"I can't read this." And he pushes the papers back to you. The woman just kind of leers at him. "You can't read." "No?
Then why did you ask for the paper?
My good guard.
You said you had them."
I have papers?
I am a holy man of knowledge, a follower of Ogma, and I'm here with my companion Vinka, and we have been following this man here because he is quite a formidable fighter. He is not that intelligent, and so we're just trying to get some safety. The same reason you don't want to let us in is the exact same reason that we're trying to get in, is to avoid some sort of ill fate upon ourselves this fine evening. As it has just now turned night, we beg you, just let us slip through this gate, and then you can lock it firmly behind us, never to open it again until your morning comes.
As you say that, he says, "We're just trying to protect our own too."
Of course you are.
"Because you're coming in with that!" And he points his pike up at the ravens.
I fed them on the way here, and they just kept more and more started coming. It's not my fault.
Yeah, they're not with us. They're just, tag along. A small pup who doesn't seem to want to leave our heels.
And at which point Arena will say, "We just want to come into the village. I'm Arena Koyama. I am the daughter of the burgomaster of Barovia. We mean you no harm. And I would like I'll be kind, and I will let Vinka make a persuasion check with advantage."
Nice.
Okay. At this point, the woman kind of pulls her pie back and says, "They don't seem too troubling. Is it going to be our fault if they are monsters? We'll be dead if they're monsters. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't be monsters."
No,
And
and
she'll
we've
slowly
been
start
rolling
to
terribly all night.
She'll start to undo the chains that are holding the gates shut.
Say,
"Welcome to the fortified town of Valaki. Cause no trouble. All will be well."
Thank you.
Seems like a great town. Thank you for letting us in. By the way, are you the Night Watch?
"I am a guard of the watch, and I am watching at night, yes."
Okay. Well, do you ever have any problems staying up for your full shift?
He kind of considers that for a moment. The last time I did it, Isaac beat my head in almost.
Well,
I don't do that anymore.
I have a perfect solution for you, my friend. If you ever feel the creep of, the night coming in on you and you need to get a little Z's, I got you. I have this tincture right here, and I pull out one of my bottles. And for a measly 10 gold, I guarantee it'll wake you right up.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
I have a bottle of it myself. I can assure you that it will do something.
I wish I could use the 17.
Actually, I guess this would be deception technically, because you're trying to deceive him into this potion being worth something. So go ahead and roll it again. I'll let you say you have advantage because Curtis is actually trying to help you on this.
I do. I think this is the perfect opportunity for you to sell your wares.
So he just kind of looks at it. That's a lot of money for some little tincture.
Oh.
All I have is 5 electrum to my name.
Oh, well, I will let you know something. Today is actually a flash sale. Thank you for reminding me. For nothing more than 5 electrum, you can have one of these tinctures.
You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Don't worry about it, Dirk. Put that away and save it for the next person. I'm going to give you my bottle, sir. And if it does prove out for you this evening, then all I ask is that you tell your mates, and that when they also want a bottle for themselves, to seek out Dirk Hardsteel, and he will sell them the bottle that they're after. And I give him my bottle of the tincture.
Okay. You kind of hand it over, and he just kind of picks it up, and he kind of looks at it, swirls it around. He'll pop the cork, and he'll sniff it. And he's like, "Oh, that is strong."
It is very, very strong.
It'll wake you right up.
Get in. The longer you stand here with the gates open, the worse chance that something else will come in.
Yes, of course. Come in. We'll close the gates. And don't drink that until you start to feel yourself getting sleepy. You save it for its peak moment. You don't want to take it too early and waste out when you still have a full night ahead of you.
William, stop.
Okay. So they will wave you into the town proper. As you do, you can hear them clinking and closing up the big gates behind you, clearly not intent on letting anyone else in. And as you all make your way into the town, the ravens seemingly just spread apart, break into pieces, and cut off into different sections, as if there isn't a reason for them to gather anymore.
Are they in the town just scattered, or do they, can't get in the bubble?
A few head off into the town, but most of them just break off and sail off into the woods.
Okay.
They head everywhere. But you all have arrived at the fortified town of Valaki. I will move you all to a map, so you all can see where you are in the town.
And it's quite possible that Dirk has put us in a very good position to where we will have a strong relationship with the City Watch. Right, Dirk?
Yep. No problem at all. Although I would have liked to have gotten some money off of it.
If my plan works, you will receive multiple bottle sales. To him, you would have only sold one. Now you have the potential to sell 5 or 6.
I only needed to sell one. And then we get out of this town as quickly as possible there, William. Do you not know how any of this works?
To me, that sounds like you would be selling something fraudulent, Dirk.
No, I am selling exactly what I say I'm selling.
I'm trying to protect Vinka here, and I would hate to think that that's what you've done to her and was planning on doing to me.
I'm selling exactly... I told him it'll get him wide awake. He may not appreciate it, but it will make him wide awake, and there's no legal repercussions for what I said.
No, in that case, we haven't lied. Don't worry about it.
You need to learn to shut your mouth.
You all have this conversation as you creep slowly along the main thoroughfare into town. After about 600, 700 feet, you all come to a large stockyard. This large stockyard has several locked sheds along its periphery and lies adjacent to a roomy warehouse. A wooden sign above the front gate reads the Arisek Stockyard. Parked at the south end of the stockyard is a sturdy carnival wagon, its colorful paint peeling off. Faded lettering on its sides spells out the words Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders. Just something you all notice as you're making your way through the town.
Here too. Jesus.
As you continue on and break off into what appears to be the middle of town, the town square, looking for perhaps an inn or something to that effect, the shops and homes that enclose the town square are decorated with limp, tattered garlands and painted wooden boxes filled with tiny, dead flowers. At the north end of the square stands a row of stocks, locked in which are several men, women, and children wearing crude plaster donkey heads. In the center of the square, peasants in patchwork clothes eye you suspiciously as they use cups and vases to draw water from a crumbling stone fountain. Standing tall at the center of the fountain is a gray statue of an impressive man facing west. All around the square are posted proclamations. Come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year, the Wolf's Head Jamboree. Attendance and children required. Pikes will be provided. All will be well, the Baron. Though even as you look at this now, you see that several guards are making their way around the town, tearing these posters down and putting ones up in their place that read, Come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year, the Festival of the Blazing Sun. Attendance and children required. Rain or shine, all will be well, the Baron.
What does it mean that children are required? Do we have to get a child?
The subtext in the second poster was severe.
What's a subtext?
I liked the first poster better. I was much more comfortable with wolves' heads and pikes. Well, everybody is attended or required to attend, no matter what. And
the first poster said that as well, just for reference.
Yeah.
They both said attendance and children required.
I'm just saying, at least the first one was little honest with the wolves and spikes, whereas the second one, it says all will be well.
Seems
Which
like they always have a party here.
clearly all will not be well.
I don't appreciate that it says attendance and children are required. So does that mean that we have to attend and bring our own child?
No, I assume if we have a child, we have to bring them.
Well, considering the fact that I just saw a bunch of carnies in the back
They both
there,
said all will be well.
I don't think I think I'm going to read it as the letter instead of the intent. Vinka,
And
you
the
are now
wagon.
mine and William's child. William, we've been married for 10 years.
I think it kind of gives a sour face at this and just ignores it and keeps looking for an inn.
As you all press on, you cut north and follow that trail into what appears to be the direct middle of town. As you arrive here, you can see gray smoke issues from the chimney of this large 2-story wooden building with a stone foundation and sagging tile roof, upon which several ravens have perched. A painted wooden sign hanging above the main entrance depicts a blue waterfall. As far as you can tell, this appears to be a tavern of some kind.
I bet they have good wine in here, Vinka. Perhaps we should stay.
Like to eat would be nice.
Indeed.
And I wouldn't mind finding somewhere to sleep so we don't have to worry about getting caught outside.
Exactly. Are you okay with this, Dirk? The rest of us seem to think that this inn seems to be a nice place.
That sounds fine to me. Oh, I forgot about you there, Irina. I guess you're the nanny of this family?
Vinka sighs. Dirk, I don't even look like a child.
You're short. That's good enough. I can work with this.
It's really not. Look at these hips. And she sways her hips.
We're not doing that, Dirk. And William goes in, starts to go in the inn.
I have a costume kit. I can get a wig.
Okay. As you all make your way in the inn, you can tell it is very lively in this fine inn. As you make your way inside, there are loads of commoners drinking to and fro. And as you make your way up to the counter, you can see there is a fairly old-looking woman with black and silver hair, very tan skin, and what looks like wolf fur robes around her. She turns past the individual she is currently tending to and says, "Welcome to the Blue Water Inn. What can I do for you? My name is Danica."
A lovely place, Danica. Thank you very much. My compatriots here, we're in town for the night and need rooms to stay and would like meals all the way around and perhaps some wine and ale and a table.
All right. A bed for the night costs an electrum. If you want something to eat, you buy a bed, you get food. It's borscht and bread. If you want wolf steak, that's another electrum. We also have wine, Great Mash number 3 with 3 copper, or you can get a pint of Red Dragon Crush for a silver.
Okay.
Excellent.
Do you have family discounts?
We do, but you are not family.
Oh, we are absolutely family. Look at my husband here, William. We've been married for 10 years, and our daughter.
This is not the case. Dirk, please, don't start into that story. He's a bit of a jester. I apologize. I have 5 gold. Take this, and we'll be eating and drinking, and then we'll split up into 2 rooms. Vinka and her will have one, and Dirk and I will take another room, if you have that option available.
Fair enough. We will say that someone has already taken one of the beds, so which room they have taken is up to them. There may not be one available to you. I said we sell beds here, not rooms. There are 2 rooms with 2 beds and 1 room with 4 beds. You may sleep or you decide.
Thank you, madam. I appreciate that.
Do you have a preference in the wine and to what you would like to eat?
Oh, I'm going to go with that good stuff, the number 3 you mentioned, I believe.
Okay, you want to get stuff, you will get the good stuff.
She
will kind of rear her back and says, "I win! Borscht, bread, and steak!" She kind of looks for all 4 of you?
Yes, please.
Por
Also,
favor!
Excellent.
you said there was one room with 4 beds. Can we
Yeah.
take that one so we're all together?
Yes.
If you so desire, sure. It is up to you.
Yes, we'll take that. I'll be happy to sleep on the floor.
I will get your wine. And she will just lean under the counter, pull out what looks like a small pint, and walk over towards these barrels that are set behind her. She seems to go to the middle one, and as she does, she turns the faucet, and you see what appears to be a very familiar bubbling red liquid start to pour down into it. It seems like the same wine that you all were ordering back in Barovia.
Must be a local vintage.
It's from the Wizard of Wines. They supply all the wine in the valley.
We heard about that person.
Where did we? I don't have in my notes. I have south of something. Where is where is the Wizard of Wine, by chance?
As she finishes off with the first one, she'll go to grab the second one and says, the next one is, the Wizard of Wines is off towards the western end of the valley, south of Kresk. Hard to miss if you follow the trails.
Luckily, we're headed that way, so perhaps we'll get to visit.
As she finishes up, she'll bring all the drinks over and set them down on the table. That is good. Actually, if you all are planning on going out there, we might have some work for you. Not doing too much of an issue, but if you could just check in and see if there's any issues with the wine. And she'll kind of lean in and whisper to you, William, we haven't gotten our shipments in about 2 weeks.
I think that we might be interested in that. Our compatriot Dirk here is always looking for ways to financially offset our current adventure.
I don't know about that, but if you can figure out what's causing it, we'd be happy to let you stay here for free.
I believe that might be a deal that we could make. Could you give us clear directions on where the winery is located? And I think that's something that we might be able to tackle first thing tomorrow.
You just follow the road off towards the west.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, follow the sign trails. If they haven't been torn down, then you'll know where you are going.
Does that sound like something that we think we might be able to handle? We need to find the Wizard of the Wines anyways, because apparently that's where some item is that my card
William, shut up.
said that we needed. There's something
William,
that Dirk, in order to get out of this place, we must solve the puzzle that requires these items that the old woman spoke of.
I am going to hurt you.
Will hurt me or not does not change the fact. I could stand here bloodied and bruised, and the facts would remain the same.
Dirk's gonna throw his hand over William's mouth.
Any mention of puzzle, and Vinka's like nodding excitedly.
And he's going to reach down to Vinka, pick her up, and do the same thing with her.
Dirk.
Then just looks at you like you're a peculiar bunch, but she kind of shrugs her shoulders. No, as you will.
We will look into it for you, and if anything comes of it, we will return, and it will be fortuitous for both of us. I learned that word from William here after we were married for 10 years. Anyway, we're going to take this and go to a table over there. And as I drag the two of them away, I go, first of all, you never tell people where you're going after you scammed them. Second of all, shut up, William.
Dirk, we're not scamming them. This is honest work, Dirk. You can accept it and be proud of it.
You just gave a tincture to the guard, and they're going to be pissed. And you made sure they knew my name.
Why wouldn't I share good product unless you had been trying to con me, which would prove me right of everything that I had said?
I wasn't conning you. I told you the exact truth.
Then they have a good product, and you will reap the rewards of my handing them that vial.
I hate you so much, William. I have to ditch this disguise tonight because of you. You undid all of my work.
Irina, when we go to the Wizard of Wines. Would you like for us to drop you off at the Abbey in Kresk beforehand?
I would first like to see if it is safe for me to stay here. I would like to inquire with the burgomaster to see if there is some form of arrangement that we could come to.
Oh, that's a good idea.
If the town turns out to be safe, there is no reason for me to leave. It would be dangerous to travel again now that we've gotten here safely. But after that, I suppose it would be safe to travel on to the Abbey.
Seems a rather lively place. Constant parties.
There are several people here.
As you're having this conversation, two young boys come out of the kitchen, each of them bearing very strong resemblance to the woman who served you the wine. One of them, his hair is all stark white. The other is black and gray and white and mixed. Both of them are wearing very familiar clothes. And they're carrying two large trays with bowls of what look like deep purple soup and bread. And they just kind of slide them forward. And moments later, you see a large bearded man kind of step out, and he just kind of slides a whole platter of what looks like wolves' steaks on large plates. And it says, "Here is your drink. Here is your food. Enjoy." Right, Rom, back in the kitchen. And they take off back towards the kitchen.
I would say thank you and tuck into the steak that's like the size of her head.
Biting into it, you can tell immediately some care was spent in preparing it. It's not just salt, there are other spices involved, but it is very gamey and it is very tough wolf meat.
Yep. Very stringy.
The drink you all are enjoying, this Red Dragon Crush, it is flavorful and there's something to it. It's almost like a sparkling wine, the bubbles that kind of work their way down your throat. And the potency of it is definitely a fruit wine, but it's kind of gotten away from that grapey flavor. Like whoever made this has clearly spent a lot more time on this than they did in the more simple and more basically named purple grape mash number 3.
Lovely. It's very interesting. Sort of effervescent. How's that wolf steak there, Vinka?
The bite she has in her mouth is she's still working on. So she just gives William a nod and keeps chewing.
Right side, very little gristle.
Best part. Okay. Look. Something's not right with this town. I'm not too comfortable here. No town has a carnival that appears to have stayed for more than 2 days, because the blasted thing is still here and it's in disrepair. And apparently, we need to bring children with us to a ceremony directly after another ceremony.
As you were having this conversation, the individual who was sitting at the bar, which appears to be a fairly old man with slightly pointed ears and is wearing a long gray coat, kind of turns around and says, "Did you say that the carnival wagon in the town square has been fallen into disrepair? Has something happened to it?"
It appears to have chipping paint.
Ah, well, I would not consider that disrepair.
What's it to you?
Well, the carnival wagon belongs to me. I was concerned that someone had come along and tried to steal something from it.
Well, good for you. So, what are you running here? How much chalk do you have to use here? Any good marks?
Kind of furrows his eyebrows at you for a moment. I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean, but perhaps I should introduce myself. My name is Rictavio.
Rictavio. Very nice to meet you. Dirk, this is a very good opportunity for you to wholesale a lot of your tincture. This man runs a business. You could free yourself up from several bottles at this very moment.
Bottles?
Yes, my good friend Dirk here sells a cure-all tincture.
It'll make you wide awake. I can guarantee that.
It will make you wide awake. Now, he typically sells them for 10 gold, but I imagine if you were going to buy them in, say, a quantity of 10 bottles, that perhaps...
8 bottles.
Excuse me?
I have 8 bottles.
8
William.
bottles, that he might reduce the price and sell all 8 of them to you for perhaps 70 gold. And then you could resell them at a profit.
The man kind of looks back and forth between the two of you. Go ahead and make me a deception check, William. Because you're doing all the selling here.
Well, why am I doing all this? Yeah, I'm
I
trying
like to imagine Vinka just rubbing her temple. Just like, oh gosh, they're doing this.
He kind of looks back and forth between you, and he, with a smile, he just kind of says, "My dear friend, are you trying to take me for a ride?"
I don't believe so. Dirk, are you trying to take us for a ride?
He's not part of... I'm sorry about him. He doesn't understand the business. I have nothing but the utmost respect for you, sir. A carnival master knows his wares pretty well. And I ain't gonna lie to you. The wares I have, they are very good, but... You know what I do, and I know what you do, and we should probably just take it at that.
Well, I don't know what it is you think that I do, but I believe that you are mistaken. I am a carnival master. It's as simple as that. I'm here looking for acts, but I've seemed to have been able to find myself a way to leave this place.
What's keeping you here?
The fog.
You two have been cast into this location.
Yes, I'm afraid so. I was traveling down the tradeway from Waterdeep to Baldur's Gate when I found myself here.
Is that why there's always a party here? Like a carnival after another?
I've been here for a while now, and I haven't been able to make much sense of that. It seems the Baron has some notion about keeping people happy. And as she hears the identical Colette, "It is a fool! Him and his all will be well. Holding these festivals, hoping that anyone who will be happy won't have the walls that the land continues to throw upon him." She spits on the floor. "Foolish." And you hear Erwin call out from the kitchen, "Don't talk about the burgomaster! He'll throw you in the stockade!"
Do you like to know a secret, Octavio?
Secrets are always valuable.
We are also not from here.
I'm afraid that wasn't much of a secret, my dear.
Well, yeah, I came from a little village.
A little village, perhaps I've heard of it. I have traveled about around my time.
Succumber.
Succumber. I believe that is farther towards the south. And if by your stature, I must assume that you are one of the family that lives there. I think I passed through in, time past.
Mm-hmm. Cherry Bottoms. Nice to meet you. Did you hold her hand out?
He will shake your hand very gingerly. "Yes, indeed. Though I can't remember if it was your mother or your sister. Do you have a sister?"
I do not, sorry.
I must be thinking of another family. Regardless, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And the rest of you, I believe we have yet to be properly introduced.
Hi, my name is William Catesby.
Name is Dirk Hardsteel, bodyguard to Moriarty. You probably heard of our caravan before, if you're in the business.
And what caravan is that?
Well, Moriarty's traveling tinctures and medicines.
I believe I may have heard that in passing, yes.
Yep. It's good to meet a man of the business.
Yes, well, I'm afraid you may not have heard of much of me. My work has gone very poorly. I've met a great many acts, but none so much that have actually come to fruition. Currently, I do not have any in town.
Have you ever tried getting into staged fighting?
No staged fighting. Though I did meet a woman of your persuasion who went by the name of Gorbacha. She could chew through iron chains.
Well, ain't she just a hardy lad?
Reminds me of my ex-wife.
Now is not the time for your misogyny there, William.
Sorry. Did I say something?
I imagine at that point, Vinka, Arena, and Danica just all kind of turned over and looked at you for a moment. Wow.
Okay. Well, you've been here a while. Do you have any tips and tricks? Are any of the guard here a little loose with the pocket?
Oh, nothing that I've been able to find such as that, no. That I would avoid the Burgomaster's right-hand man. The rumors I've heard about him are not quite so friendly.
Okay. Oh, thank you for the tip.
He's an easy one to spot. He's the one with the demonic arm.
Demonic arm?
Yes.
What did you get me into?
What exactly is it? He's got some tattoos, or it looks like the arm of a demon.
I'm afraid I don't quite understand it myself, but at the elbow, it seems like his arm was cut off at some point and replaced with one that is red and bulging. It's full of muscles as well. Apparently, he's quite hard on using it on those who get in the Burgomaster's way.
We can't just let Irina go off to the Burgomaster here and assuming that this is safe. This doesn't sound safe at all.
I mean, as long as she doesn't piss him off.
I think perhaps maybe we should escort her to the Burgomaster.
Sure, William. Sure.
If that is what you would like to do, that is your choice. I'm afraid I've been here a while, but the locals are notoriously tight-lipped. It's been slow going, and I haven't been able to gather much information, let alone anyone who might be able to work as an act in my carnival.
I have a quick question for you, sir. What was the year where you came from?
Have you stumbled upon that little nugget as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, asking around, it seems the year has fallen to around 700 by my count, though I left in the early months of 1461, if I remember correctly.
Is that similar to our time?
If he's telling the truth, that is the exact same year that you all left.
Yeah, same here there, stranger.
Cool, so I haven't been stuck here in an inordinate amount of time.
I think they're just using a different calendar than we are.
That is possible. There was concerns, but you can never know when you're traveling between, whatever the hell this place is.
We ran into some people that claimed that they can come and go at their leisure.
Do you mean perhaps the Vistani?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would be careful around them as well. I've heard very nasty rumors about their kind.
Yeah, they tried conning us with a fake fortune telling us of various kinds of very alluring treasures, but they're probably just sending us out to our deaths for fun.
Do you mean perhaps that you spoke with the Vistani seer?
Yeah.
I would take those to heart. Vistani seers are very well known for their divination powers.
It's the same advice that I gave him.
So far, she hasn't been correct.
Oh, and what is it exactly that she told you?
She told me that I would be taken by a ghost or some sort, or a spirit in the mountain pass, and I seem to have gotten through it without too much of an issue. In fact, I was attacked by wolves instead. And they weren't even that good of wolves. They didn't even put up too much of a fight.
I can't pretend to know that every Vistani that claims to be a seer is a truthful one, but it is perhaps that you just misunderstood or did not listen properly.
I probably didn't, but I do believe that she was lying to us.
Regardless, I would advise you that if you have heard any words from a true seer, you'll be wise to heed them. I was once had my fortune told by a Vistani seer, and it did not come out to my betterment.
Sure. Anyway, I'm going to go in for the night. You two have fun.
Yes, it has gotten rather late, and I do believe it is time my turn as well. I have to get out bright and early to take care of things. He will send himself from the table. It has been a pleasure to make all of your acquaintances.
Thank you for your information, sir.
Of course.
Nice to meet you too, Octavio.
He will make his way over towards the interior staircase and start to make his way up those.
Oh, he's staying in this place?
Evidently he is.
Hey, stranger, can we ask you a favor? We got
What is that?
We got 4 in our party. Would you mind if we kept the 4-person room to ourselves?
I have the single! As he climbs up the stairs.
Okay.
And as you yell that, Danica will say, if you want to go up to your rooms, you will have to use the outside staircase.
Shit.
Think of it as an exterior suite. It will be wonderful.
Great. Perfect. Well, Dirk is going to make his way towards the door, creak it open, look both ways for any guards, and try to stealthily get to it without alerting any city watch that he is around.
Make a perception check and a stealth check. Which I believe is a disadvantage because you're heavy armor.
I have the strength to not have that, I believe.
Nope. You are at disadvantage regardless. If you're wearing heavy armor, the strength is so you do not have your movement speed reduced.
Huh. So we got a perception check.
You do not see any guards that you can tell.
And then just gonna dive down to the ground and do a nice little snake.
And everyone inside the inn can hear Dirk crawling along the ground, which sounds like steel wool being scraped through the dirt.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm like following him out going, Dirk, what are you doing?
I'm dealing with the consequences of your actions, William.
I have done nothing.
Skirt.
Get up off the ground, my good name. My word.
I'm going to continue to worm my way through.
He's howling with laughter.
We're just going right over here to these stairs to our room. Do upstairs. Up, go, Dirk. For
Blowing
God's
my
sake.
cover.
There is no cover. What in the world are you?
As he continues to have this loud conversation while stealthing, he'll slowly get his way up to the stairs and find a room.
Arena just leans in towards Vinka and says, is this a custom where you all come from?
Not at all. He's a very peculiar individual.
I am afraid I do not understand.
It's fine, Arena. I don't understand him either.
Good. This concerns me that I have entrusted this man with my life. And it also concerns me that of the 3 of you, he was the one most effective at fighting the wolves.
All brawn, no brains.
And you understand our dilemma right there. Irina, that's exactly it. If we thought we could do it without him, I think he would be the first one to leave us. But he knows that me and the halfling simply have not been proven as fighters yet, and he's quite handy at smiting wolves.
You may say that Dirk would be the first one to leave you, but was it not Shava who disappeared this morning?
Well, I'm very concerned about Shava, but I don't know if she actually left us.
Perhaps she passed through here, and Vinka would turn to the lady behind the bar. And, did you see someone and then describe what Shava looks like?
Okay, so you make your way back inside the bar and speak with Danica.
Oh, we hadn't left, but I guess we did.
Yeah, you were watching him crawl up the stairs, so yes.
Okay.
Will, you and Arena can make your way up towards the bedroom and start picking out beds. There are 4 of them in small chests for you to store valuables or such if you want to, or just keep miscellaneous things. As you make your way over towards Danica and start to speak with her, Vinka, describing Shava, she will consider for a moment and says, yes, I think I have seen that individual. She was the other person to rent one of the rooms.
Oh, fantastic. She's here. Hopefully we catch her for breakfast.
Yeah, she came in a few hours ago and demanded to have a room. She paid for it, and I have not seen her since. She did not need dinner, so I do not know what the problem was. But that is her business. I did not question it.
Perhaps she's moody or something. We'll see her tomorrow, hopefully.
Enjoy your nap.
I think we'll head back up to the room and relay that to everyone. It's like, Shava's here in the inn with us. She has a room, and I'm hoping we'll see her tomorrow, but you all can go look for her if you want.
That is great news.
As far as you could tell, there were only 3 rooms to choose from, so if she's not in this one, there's not a whole lot she could choose from.
I like to imagine Dirk running and knocking the door down to her room.
No, Dirk is preoccupied right now. He has a kit of various different hairstyles and mustaches laid out on his bed, combing over them, trying to figure out what his next move is going to be.
Vinka tries on a mustache that matches her hair color.
He's also just got dirt caked into the front of his chainmail. With the recent rains, it seems it was more mud than dirt, so unfortunately he is quite filthy with it at the moment.
Vinka, can I borrow a couple of pages from your book?
No.
Just rip them out the back, it's fine.
No. Book is sensitive. I just rip pages out.
You absolutely can. I'll buy you a new one. Wait, I don't need to use this accent anymore. I'll buy you a new one.
Why
Well, it
not?
looks like we're having some connectivity issues on Twitch. Give me a second.
Yeah,
guys.
it disconnected.
Oh.
Should be.
So let's take a hot moment, pause it, and we'll continue this when we come back.
Reconnecting in just a moment.
If you reload, we're still live.
No,
Alright, give me one second.
we did get a disconnect, but the live button just came back, so we should be coming right back in just a moment. Yeah, there we go. I think we're back now.
Hey, okay, we're back. Please continue.
Hey.
Vinka will pat her book and be like, no pages are getting ripped out of my book. But there are a bunch of posters they were taking down, so we'll get one of the wolf's head posters, because they obviously don't need them anymore.
You're right. Wait, no, I can't make documents on this. There's a wolf poster on the other side. Okay, look, there's a couple of things I need to explain to you guys, because obviously you want to blow my cover in every single way, shape, and form.
What are you talking about, Dirk? I'm not trying to blow your cover.
I need to come up with a new name now and a new look, because we are going to get arrested. I'm going to get arrested tomorrow, because now we're staying in this town after I sold a tincture.
Dirk,
So-
I don't understand. You didn't sell any tincture. You sold the tincture to me, which was a good product, and I gave that good product to a guard. What
And
is the
then-
problem?
That tincture makes you vomit and sick. It makes you wide awake because you're sick. You're
Just-
only supposed to sell one and then get the F out.
Wait a minute.
Are you thick? Are you thicker than that book?
Apparently so. Dirk, this is not good.
Well, we could go tell the guard that that's a bad batch and apologize.
Yes, honesty. Apparently it is a bad batch. Apparently they're all bad batches that shouldn't have been sold in the first place.
They are perfectly good at what I exactly say they are. But that isn't enough in most places. Look, let me explain something to you. Yes, you heard my name before. My name is Zeke. And that's all you're going to get from me. You have to change names every town that you go to in order to keep the guard off you.
That seems a silly little rule. Why don't you just go back to Zeke? Nobody knows you here.
Because Zeke is my actual name, and that's what all my caravan knows me as.
Perhaps you should go back to your natural name and then change the habits that would require this constant need to rename yourself.
Fuck that. I make bank doing what I do.
Well, then shut up and make your bank.
I'm trying to make my bank, and then you screw it
No.
up. I couldn't make a sale. I have no sale, no money, and now a guard coming after
I
me.
only did what I did because I was a believer.
I
Then what?
don't believe you for a second, William. You are nothing but a saboteur, and you don't like me. And I appreciate it. But seriously, your underhanded ways are even that of a carny on meth. I don't get you. Why do you have to ruin nice things?
To protect her book, Vinka will put it in the chest and lock it.
Okay.
It's a good idea.
Doesn't want Dirk ripping pages out of her ancient book.
Okay.
You're muted, Dirk.
I forgot to stage whisper. Thank you very much, William. All of you are the most frustrating people that I ever met, and I'm stuck with you because I have no idea where I am.
If it's any consolation, Dark, you have not made the greatest impression on me either.
Who asked you?
No one. Same as people have asked you.
I hate everything. Dirk is going to take a mustache, put it on his lip, and take a bowl cut and put it on his head, and then take a knife and give him a nice little scar right underneath the ear for people to get distracted on. My name is now John Clancy. Get it? No, that's a bad name. I'm going to workshop this overnight. You guys suck.
Did you just cut yourself?
What in the world?
If you give identifiers, people will focus on them, and then they won't remember your face.
Finka, this half-orc is half mad, and I'm not certain that we should spend a whole lot more time with this one. He just cut himself to hide from a guard with an upset tummy.
It's a little extreme, yeah.
Don't understand. This is a house of cards.
I think we'll be fine, Dirk. You need to calm down.
I think Dirk needs a nap. Let's all go to bed.
I think you're right. If the guard is sick, then he'll just be sick. There's no one that says that it has to have been from your potion. Perhaps he drank too much tonight, or perhaps he had a bad turkey leg. That will all be sussed out in the conversation, but it will still be a conversation about a man who gets sick. You did nothing. Now, if you did do something, I would suggest that you take a listen, that this is not going to be that difficult to get out of, and that you shouldn't do it again. Find a new way. Because, quite honestly, you haven't made any money off of these tinctures.
Yeah, because every place, we've been to a communist place, we've been to the mountains, I've met you penniless bastards, and then we came to here and you ruined a sale. Although, Vinka, as far as I can tell, you are fairly well off, and I would love to meet your father someday. But you, William, are my problem.
Finka just sighs and crawls into the bed.
Okay. So as the night wears on, are you all feeling particularly safe here in the town? Do you all think you need to keep a watch, or are you all just going to pass out and enjoy a good night's sleep?
Dirk's going to insist on a watch, and he's going to take the first one.
Okay.
Fine, Dirk. I will take second watch if it means that much to you. I wouldn't worry so much about these guards.
I can take watch when it's darkest. I have very good eyesight.
My name is now Blast Slickneck, okay? Blast Slickneck.
Awful name.
There you go.
Vinka, I'm going to call him Zeke.
Yeah, let's do that.
God damn it.
Okay. As you all kind of make your way into proper rest, Zeke, you will kind of spend the first watch, and as you're just kind of sitting in one of the chairs, looking out the window, making sure that nothing happens, the only thing of kind of note that happens is that the town itself is not nearly as misty as the rest of the valley. It's actually fairly clear and easy to see, even at night. There are no light sources out, but with your dark vision, you can see out into the murk. And you do notice that at some point during the night, a raven just kind of lands on the windowsill, and then as you kind of stare at it, it just kind of sits there staring back at you. It calls very softly, almost like it doesn't want to wake anybody up.
I just kind of like knock at the glass to make it go away.
Kind of flutters its wings backwards and hops towards the edge of the windowsill, but it just kind of keeps sitting there staring at you.
Is that how it's going to be, Bird?
Ha!
Opens the window. Gets right up close to it. Is that how it's really going to be?
It kind of looks at you for a brief moment and kind of tilts its head, and then it kind of looks up.
I thought so.
And as it looks up, 2 more ravens poop on your head.
I throw the chair out the window.
You just grab the chair and chuck it out the window. That causes the raven to fly off. Most of the ravens on the roof scatter at that point. And the chair just flies out the window and just kind of rolls across the street. It's durable enough that it doesn't smash into pieces, thankfully. For the brief second, you just kind of look out. You see 2 guards kind of start to walk up to it. They kind of look panicked. They look at the chair. They look up at the window. If you would like to make a stealth check so that you don't get caught as being the one who just did this.
I hit the floor.
At this point, you've probably taken you've probably taken your armor off, but unfortunately, so you just kind of look up and see this figure as you drop to the floor.
I do have a mustache on. Sorry, guys, got a little carried away there. There was a bird, it pooped on me. See the poop?
They kind of look at each other. Tanaka's going to make you pay for that.
I got the gold, it's fine. Have a good night.
You see one of them goes over, picks up the chair, and starts to carry it back towards the front door of the inn.
Can I have my chair back?
You can get it back from Danica.
Fuck. Oh, I don't have a chair for the rest of the night.
There's more chairs in the room.
Okay, I pull another chair up.
That will be the extent of your 2-hour watch.
I wake up William in the rudest way possible by tickling his feet.
What? Leave my feet alone, you fool.
It's your turn to watch, sweetie. Get out of bed.
Thank you, Dirk.
And try not to sell any tinctures on the way out.
I will sell nothing of yours any further, Dirk. I was a believer, I believe no more.
Dirk is out as he hits the bed because he's been waiting for this for over 12 hours now.
All right. William, as your night comes along, it's very dark for you, so you can make a perception check. Go ahead and make me a perception check at disadvantage, please.
Perception. Disadvantage.
All right, wow. You see really well. As you rely on the basic amount of light that is inside this room, you lure out and you can see that the sounds of ravens that kind of chorus throughout the night, they seem to have shifted. And as you look out across, you can see that there must be 7 of them sitting on the house on the far side of the street, or building on the far side of the street. And they're all just kind of looking into your window like they expect something else to happen.
Very
and when
curious.
they see you, one of them kind of flutters his wings. The others kind of look at it one, and they all just kind of turn back to you.
It's quite an omen, I tell myself. And I just watch the birds, and I'll probably give them a look, raise my eyebrow, make eye contact with them, try to give them a little nonverbal facial expression to see, just sort of play with them, see if they react.
Okay.
But I won't do anything more than that.
As you watch it for about 10 minutes, eventually they do disperse. Some of them take off in other directions. One or two of them actually fly back and land seemingly back on the roof of the inn, almost like they take to it very well. But your watch goes without any really further issue.
Very interesting. I will wake Finka and tell her about the birds before I go to bed.
All right. Before we get to that, Vinka, you are clearly dreaming. And as you are dreaming, you are sitting in what appears to be a very dark and bleak looking forest. It's not familiar to you so much as you've been here before, but it's definitely familiar to you in the regards that the landscape itself seems almost familiar to what you've been seeing recently. The pine trees look kind of gray washed and bleached in some cases. All the color looks half drained out of them. But as you look ahead, you see that the small clearing that you're standing in, at the far end of it, there is a tiny a tiny stone house with a wooden door at the front of it. It's no more than 6 foot square, looks like it. There is a very tiny little slant to the roof that has a chimney on one side, and you can see that the wooden door is just ever so slightly ajar. What would you like to do?
Vinka would like to go up to this door and crack it open, and actually she will knock first before pushing it open a couple more inches. Hello?
All right. You walk up to the door and you just give it a knock. The sound seems overly muffled when you do so. Just the act of knocking on the door causes it to slowly slide open. And almost, okay, it's against your will. You are forcibly, not pulled, walk into the room beyond. And as you do, the door slowly closes behind you with a soft click. It is at this immediate moment you realize that the room on the interior is significantly larger than the room on the exterior. What was basically a single stone room on the outside is a massive cathedral on the interior, with rows and rows of stone columns supporting easily a 40 to 50 foot high arched cistern chapel ceiling, and rooms that lead off down different halls. And as you kind of look back and forth between them, you can see many of the doors are closed, many of them have locks on them. But making your way along, you see that there is one door of all of them, and there must be 36 just in this room alone. There is one door that is ever so slightly ajar, and as you look into it, or as you look at the door itself, you can see there is a very faint mist just pouring through the crack of it.
Interesting. Considering everything else is closed or locked, this is the one that Vinka will inspect next.
As you walk up to this door, something catches your eye that didn't before, and to that moment you wonder, was it always there, or was it only there when you started to pay attention to the door? And you see there's a very small, it looks like if you've ever seen a hospital, the small little plastic device they set on the door so they could put the clipboards into and take them out of so they can consult what a patient's notes are. You see one of those made out of wood is set into the front of the door, and as you kind of lean over, you see that there is what looks like a sheet of parchment rolled up, sealed on the front of it.
Unroll the parchment. You said it's sealed. Is it a wax seal?
It appears to have a ribbon that is tying it together, and then a seal at the center of the ribbon that keeps it from, that shows that it has been unbroken.
Curiosity would overcome her. She will break the seal, untie it, and take a look at the parchment.
Right. As you kind of look at I'll describe the seal for a brief moment too. Looking at the seal, you see what appears to be a fairly nondescript gray face. There are no real features to it. It's missing a nose, but there are slits where the eye and the mouth are. The eyes just kind of stare blazingly. There are no actual eyes, it's just eye slits. And there is a slit for the mouth that is turned up in a very, it looks happy, but there is some form of sinisterness to it, almost like it gives you the impression of something that knows far more than it's letting on. And the entire figure kind of has a hooded depiction behind it, like there's something being hidden from it as well. And as you kind of peel the seal off, you hear kind of a soft ruffling in the room, and you see just kind of a human hand reach out, press the door closed with a click, as you undo it.
You must be bothering them, and continue to still look at the parchment.
You undo it, you undo the ribbon, and you slowly unravel the parchment. And on the other side, there is what looks like gibberish. Words and language, words, letters, all in a cacophony of writing, none of which that makes sense. And as you kind of look it over, you kind of end up turning the parchment sideways and upside down, trying to make more sense of it. But the more you seem to do that, the more the words on the parchment just start to spin.
I was going to ask if I could commit those to memory, but if they're spinning, there's no chance.
And slowly but surely, as they are spinning, you see that some of them start to fall into place. And then a pattern starts to develop. And then as you are watching it, you must be standing here for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. You're not sure how long you're sitting here watching this go on. But then as the last pieces of it finally seem to fall into place, you see that all of the letters on the page seem to form a single unblinking eye. That as you look at it, the pupil of it just kind of shifts very slightly and seems to look back at you. And then William shakes you awake.
Vinka will look a little surprised when she wakes up and realizes it's William. It's like, oh, William, I had a very strange dream.
You did?
Many, many symbols, very ominous.
Interesting. I will need the details of that dream. I saw some ominous birds, but the dream sounds more interesting.
I will tell you when we have breakfast in the morning, I think. But for now, I will watch the birds.
Very good. They have been acting very curiously.
I think I may know what's up with them, but it might be just my own superstition. Go ahead.
As William, you start to head off to bed, you kind of take your position up, Binka, sitting at the table. Imagine you take your book and set it next to you as it's never too far from you when you're awake. You kind of look out the window and you see one of those birds has fallen back on the windowsill and it's kind of looking in the room with curiosity, not cawing, not making any noise. It's just kind of watching you. But as it's kind of watching you, you see its eye is staring at you, just kind of appraising you in a strange way. And as you kind of look at it, you see something shift out of the corner of your eye. And when you look down at your book, you can see that there is now an eye on it that is looking back at you. And that's what we're going to call our session this week.
All right.
Knew it was coming sometime soon. I was just waiting.
Yeah.
It's getting bigger and bigger every time.
Well,
so I hope everyone enjoyed Curse of Strahd this strange Saturday night. What repercussions can come from all the shenanigans these fine individuals have gotten themselves into? Will Dirk Hardsteel, now known as I've already forgotten your new name because Dirk Hardsteel is really hard. Blast Slickneck, yes. Will his new name come to better avail, or will William continue to break down this facade he has put around himself? What has happened to Shava? Why did she disappear? She's already in Vallaki, though, so clearly she's made her way here sooner than later. Will Arena be safe? And what is the significance of an eye, and just who may be watching now? That is what we will find out in the future. But, as always, I am DM Lake. These are our lovely players, Zoe, Curtis, and Izzy. We have a few things to go through before we get out of here, though. As always, we have plenty of other shows here on the TTRP channel. We have a Discord that you can come and access all of the lovely people who we are, talk to us, get to know us, even try and get into a game, perhaps, as we see them out in the future. We also have a YouTube, TTRP Theater, the YouTube channel, where all of our past games are located. If you've missed out, just decided to join, and you realize, hey, I like this, I want to see where it started, you can. It's all there, and it's all free. If you would, just give us a subscribe, a like. It means a lot to us. It shows that our content is being appreciated, and we should really just keep on doing it. The other shows we have, I'll shout out a few. We have Cult Heartlands on Wednesdays. Come check out our newest cult series set in rural America. The group is still investigating Emma Hauser, and last week things got kind of interesting. Curtis is having trouble wrangling those players, and it's taking a turn, but there are ramifications coming for that sooner than later. You should definitely tune in and watch out. Later that evening, we have a Land of Dark Dreams run by DM Opal, our own Beth. The group just got done dealing with some shenanigans up into the far north, and the consequences of those actions are coming soon. They have a serious decision to make whether or not they want to investigate and head south to Marcera, or if they are going to head into the Edenian Vale and see what they can find out about these elves and the greater plot that seems to be involving hobgoblins, werewolves, orcs, Eurikiel Zarn, and even more. As always, I have been your DM Lake, and I hope you all enjoyed your night. Please have a good one. And next week, the nightmare will continue.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.